what we did, like we scouted together with Mercedes and Bosch top startups in the quantum space, in the quantum sensing space, and we tried to cover different use cases and applications, like from autonomous driving, about navigation, through exploring properties of materials. Some of you already heard the pitches in the morning, and for example, also in exploring Earth gravity, and there are a lot of other applications, for example, in the medical sector, and these applications are all represented by our startups, and therefore I would like to welcome all of you, all of our 5 startups to the stage now. And I would like, you can choose, yes, you can choose. I would like to start that you pitch your, since you can pitch, here, have a seat. No, you can have a seat, it's fine. I can also sit there. I would like to start that you pitch your startup in some sentences. What is your startup about, since you can explain it much better than I can. And then I prepared some questions which are interesting for the audience to reshape a little bit the direction of our discussions later. And I would start with you, André. What is your solution about?
All right, so can you hear me? Okay, yeah, so a bit of an introduction about Q-Control. So Q-Control is a software company focused on making quantum technology useful. So we develop infrastructure software to make those systems work. And we have applications both in quantum computing and quantum sensing. So the idea is that when you're trying to develop your hardware for sensing, for example, in this case, there's always going to be limitations. There's always going to be issues when you are deploying in the field. And the things that we do in terms of technology and innovation is to really design software solutions to improve the performance of those devices.
Robert,
thanks.
what is your solution about?
Yeah, I'm from Quantum Technologies, and we are a quantum sensing company. And our solution is an all-optical magnetic field sensor. So you heard a lot about diamond technology, and our sensors are also based on diamond and NV technology. But the special thing in our company is that we don't use microwaves, so only optics, and we use nanodiamond particles on the tip of an optical fiber to measure the magnetic field. So this gives you extremely small sensors and a lot of USPs, like galvanic isolation you wouldn't have with the normal NV diamond technology.
All right, so I'm Marco, I'm from QNAMI. QNAMI is pioneering quantum sensing also with diamond-based sensors since 2017. And what we are developing is a quantum sensing platform based on those named diamonds, firstly focusing on material science to measure what was never measured before, so effects really that only became accessible by employing magnetic nanosensors based on quantums, but also further develop those sensor platforms for other applications we've heard already today.
Yeah. Hi. So Nomad Atomics, as the name implies, is like in atomic quantum sensing. So we provide innovative cold atom gravity and acceleration sensors for basically centered around real-world applications and providing end-to-end solutions. And for example, mineral resources companies can use these techniques and this technology to explore for mineral deposits, ensuring access to critical minerals. We're also working on better ways to ensure the long-term safety of CO2 storage sites, for example, or better monitor underground water resources. And then finally, we are working on next generation sensors for inertial navigation applications that we've heard about before. That's it from us.
Okay, my name is Matthias Petri from Anacor. We are a little bit different compared to the others since we have a platform built, a platform named Planck, Platform and Ecosystem for Quantum Applications. And we bring together all the participants or all the interested parties along the value chain. Our our vision or mission is to enable frictionless quantum, meaning we have the developers of code, we have the experts of algorithms and of quantum stuff. Then, of course, we have the hardware, the processors, the vendors of hardware, and last but not least, of course, the industrial users. And we combine them on our platform and help the developers to bring their stuff to the industrial users. Industrial users can deploy algorithms, applications, and have direct access to the hardware. And the main theme is to democratize the process of quantum computing, since it's very expensive, and for many companies it's not possible to start with this business today. And it's you have to start today if you want to be ripe for Q-Day.
Maybe also, Andre, start with you again. Like one of your USP is the interplay of the hardware and software, that you have a scalable software. How does it exactly work? Why is it important? And the last question also, if you have heard about the technologies from the other startup, would it run with your software potentially?
Yeah. Okay. So no, that's a good question. I mean, when we started developing software for quantum systems, one of the things that we heard from many hardware providers, we started a lot. I mean, we worked a lot with quantum computing companies, and they said, okay, we are not ready for control software yet because we need to improve our hardware. And so this was a common kind of comment. I said, okay, they want to make it as the best that they can in terms of the hardware. So then, when they can't really solve, then we can look into the software solutions, right? So when we started working on sensing and we started looking at actually developing our own prototypes and hardware, we actually saw a very complementary approach that actually, when you know that you can solve something with software, maybe you don't have to spend too much time in parts of your design for your hardware. So this was a lesson that we learned, that actually incorporating software solutions early on can teach you where you should focus on your hardware development. That is one question, one comment. And then in your final question in terms of hardware, yes, so definitely. I mean, actually, one of our first products was a platform for optimization and simulation that it is actually hardware agnostic. So we start with the very base for those in physics, the basic model of the systems, and from that you can actually design process, design optimization. So it is, in this sense, totally independent of the hardware that you pick. But of course, in practice, whenever you're applying this to the actual hardware, we need knowledge of the system. You need calibrations. You need actually expertise in those systems to be able to implement the software.
And my next question goes also very in this direction, but to you, Christian. Also, like you mentioned, okay, scalability is so important. Like, and when it comes also to commercialize the sensors, like how do you commercial the sensors, or what is the idea of commercial your sensors on a large scale?
On a large scale is a really good question. I think there is, at the scale where we are right now, which is, like in industries such as the resource sector, maybe the defense space, where we are like, the manufacturing volumes are a couple orders of magnitude smaller than, for example, in the automotive space. I think it's about two different things. One is technical, and the other one is really in terms of the business development. So on the technical side, you really just, you need to identify the engineering challenges that you can solve as a startup with a highly specialized team. And for example, in terms of the integration and miniaturization of a device, right? It may not fit into a cell phone, but it may be like portable by a single person. And that kind of feeds into the business challenge here. It's really important to talk to customers in those really niche applications in the resource sector, for like the people who are responsible for monitoring water resources, oil and gas companies that are thinking about sequestering CO2 under the ground. Like, what are their actual problems and challenges, and what would a potential application for quantum sensors be there? And our approach there was to essentially engage with them early on, use our sensor with them together, to de-risk that and give them confidence that it works. And then the mass market things for the automotive things can come later.
Yeah, for sure. The mass market is extremely important for our corporate partners, And this also then directly brings me to my next question to Robert. Like, in the morning you get an impression like who of our partners are, and you also said like one of your use cases are plant engineering or also mechanical engineering, that you have some use cases there. Why is exactly your solution like suitable for it?
Yeah, thank you. Our solution, often we talk about quantum sensors, but you have the quantum sensor and some electronic stuff. You need to address the sensor itself. So in our solution, we can, to some degree, separate these two. So the actual quantum sensor, these diamond material particles, they are sitting on top of an optical fiber, and the fiber is not thicker than a human hair. So the sensor is just a tiny speck of diamond dust, and we address it with a fiber, and everything which maybe is electronics and optics, this is somewhere safe. And between these two parts, you have the optical fiber, it's just glass, so it's really robust and harsh environment safe. So especially in plant engineering, high voltage areas, or even medical applications, and also positioning, this is a huge USP we can use. And also the size of the sensor is extremely small. And if you talk about positioning, then sometimes you want to measure the position of something in a tiny slit or something, which is only a few micrometers in diameter, and we can put our sensor in there and still measure, which is not really possible with technology at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matthias, you are the kind of the exotic guy. And if you hear all this, like the use case, also what Robert explained before, if you hear all this, like we have a kind of unique platform. The point is, like, I think you enable different parties without their own resources to build something. And if you hear all these use cases, is it something what you can do on your platform?
Exactly. You gave the answer. No, but frankly spoken, yes, that's exactly our mission. Since we have a big lack in the community of knowledge of quantum computing, we have not the developers, we have not the experts, and the companies utilizing the upcoming stuff of quantum computing. And so far, we need the support. We have to enable people, and we want to address. You need only a platform if you have hundreds or thousands of applications available. It makes no sense for one or two solutions. And so far, for us, it's important that we have of all over the world people, small companies, other startups with 1, 2, 3 people who develop new solutions, apps, algorithms for chemistry challenges, for pharmaceutical, for mobility, and so on, and how to find them. You find them via a platform, and this is the other side for the industrial user. Why you use Spotify, why you use Amazon, why Amazon store, or why you use the Google Play Store or stuff like that. It makes your life easier, comfortable access, and the same is valid for the hardware. We support absolutely agnostically several kinds of hardware, including not only pure hardware or quantum hardware, also other, for example, high-performance computers, due to the fact that for the next years and also in the future, you need hybrid solutions or hybrid approaches. And so far, the platform is very, very helpful to bring all these parties together and make their life easier. And what I've mentioned in the beginning was to democratize, since the barrier is lower to start with the business.
Yeah, very interesting. And I think what's also very interesting is what you have, Marco, your solution. And somewhere on your website or on the deck, you have written, okay, we can measure now things in a way what's not possible before. What does it mean for the industry? What can they make out of it if they can measure now, like in a kind of a new way?
So thinking of the time we're living in, where you have large neural networks interpreting data, masses of data, every nuance, every other higher fidelity you can add with a certain sensor system that brings more data to those machine learning algorithms help to understand maybe effects you can't even think of, correlations that you haven't seen before. So as soon as you find a way to physically measure something, you can make predictions, for example, in our case, in metrology for semiconductor devices. You can measure something that simply wasn't accessible before, and now it helps to optimize yield, optimize output, and shorten design processes in designs of new memory chips, lowering the energy efficiency, improving the energy efficiency.
Yeah, very interesting. It was a really pleasure to have you all here. Like you're all so smart and you have so good solutions, and it's so like for the future, like it's essential. Like they will come something. We don't know exactly what will come and in which direction it will exactly go, I think, but there will come for sure something, and you have all like very unique and smart solutions. And I'm very also happy to mingle around with you later with when we have our dinner. And this also directly brings us to the next point.